in the unforgiving cold of the northern seas, where the waters churn with ancient fury and the fog never truly lifts, sailors tell stories to keep madness at bay. Among the oldest and most dreaded of these tales is that of the Kraken, a beast so enormous and terrible that even the bravest of sea captains would rather abandon gold-laden ships than sail into its domain. Some call it the child of Loki, a forgotten titan of the Norse abyss, or a relic of primordial chaos that the gods failed to chain. Others believe it to be the soul of an ancient, drowned civilization, their rage twisted into a monster that would never again allow men to rule the sea unchallenged. Whatever its origin, the Kraken is not merely a creature. They tell of a cruel patience, a malice honed by eons beneath the sea. It roams the deep, emerging unpredictably along different coasts. The fjords of Norway, the trenches of Iceland, the haunted waters of Greenland, ships lost without trace, entire fishing villages wiped clean by waves, and sometimes carcasses of whales torn in half, washing ashore. Survivors, those who drifted back days later, bore haunted eyes. No hero has returned bearing its head. No corpse lies buried beneath the sand. If anything, it has grown smarter, hiding deeper, striking faster, letting the myth die so the memory fades. But it waits. Beneath trenches too deep for light, it curls itself in slumber, listening to the hum of ship engines above. And when the time is right, when man forgets to fear the ocean, it will rise again. And spoken broken fragments, whispering of shapes in the mist, and the roar of waves that were not waves at all. And yet it is not nameless. It is remembered, it is feared, and in every creak of a ship's hull, in every silence between waves, its presence lingers, not as story, but as warning. No one questioned them. The Kraken, after all, leaves few who can speak. The Kraken does not roar like a beast. It does not howl like a storm. It breathes, and when it breathes, the sea itself holds its breath. In the 13th century Icelandic saga Grafara, the Kraken is described as a beast so vast that sailors mistook it for a chain of islands. Science charted the oceans, technology conquered the tides, and the gods of the sea were replaced by engines and steel. But there were whispers still, from deep-sea vessels that vanished without signal, oil rigs found, twisted like toys, and submarines that picked up sounds that no creature should make. Modern minds scoff. Of course, they say it's giant squids, tectonic shifts, illusions. But the old mariners still know. They speak of an ancient debt. That man was never meant to rule the sea, only borrow from it, and the Kraken is the sea's reminder. Medieval cartographers feared to draw its true form, choosing instead to scrawl "Here be monsters" near uncharted waters. As late as the 18th century, even respected naturalists like Eric Pantopeden dared to speculate on its existence. Not as fantasy, but as undiscovered reality. The Kraken does not simply kill, it crushes, drowns, and destroys, as if to punish. It toys with its prey, dragging them beneath the waves, only to release them moments before death, letting terror stew before the final blow. It has no mercy, no curiosity, only fury. And this fury seems to rise when mankind grows too bold, when ships multiply, when empires chart new courses, when harpoons are crafted, not for survival, but for conquest. It is a force, but this is not just a myth whispered in taverns or carved into driftwood. Imagine an octopus the size of an island, its limbs longer than the tallest masts, coiling and uncoiling like serpents in a storm. The creature moves with unnatural silence beneath the waves, able to drag entire ships down before a single scream escapes the deck. It can summon whirlpools with the rhythm of its limbs, drown fleets beneath unnatural storms, and vanish just as quickly as it appears, leaving only shattered timber and crimson trails. Some say it can speak, not with words, but through the sea itself, calling to those who dare to trespass too far. Others insist it lures ships with false calm, drawing them into a trap of still water before the attack. Eyes the size of millstones peer up from the deep, not mindless, but intelligent, almost human in their hatred. Its beak, hidden beneath a mass of muscular arms, can shear wood and steel alike, and when it reases, the sea parts in terror. Sailors report that its skin glistens like wet basalt, black and scarred from battles with creatures long extinct. When it surfaces, it is not with grace, but with rage, an eruption of salt, foam, and ancient power. No, the Kraken is real, or so say those who have returned half mad, their minds still adrift among the crushing waves and writhing tentacles. They say the Kraken was born not of flesh, but of wrath, the sea's very own vengeance made manifest. Its form defies nature's design, but it is not merely the Kraken's size that gives it dominion over the oceans. And what of its mind? Those who claim to have seen the Kraken and survived speak of something deeper than hunger. The Kraken does not live in one place. Its appearances were never frequent, perhaps once in a generation, perhaps less. But when it did rise, the aftermath was undeniable. As centuries passed, belief in the Kraken faded. As for its end, there is none known. The Kraken is not a beast to be slain. They say the Kraken has no master, no mate, no name but what men give it. So the next time you sail out into the open, see the winds die suddenly, if the water turns strangely still, and the sky hangs low, listen closely.